I just want y'all to know, anytime my man wants to annoy me now, he says, "Oh, you're in the van." I'm tired. Hi, I'm Alekin. I'm your favorite online friend, but right now you do not care about that. We are here to talk about mess. So let's. Rayne and Chidi finally wrap it up, I think. After their conversation at the beach, they're finally done with the relationship, and we all rejoiced. And we're glad in it. Rayne says that Chidi must have used her for a visa since he didn't show her anything else. What else he was supposed to be showing her besides his penis, I'm not sure. But also has the nerve to say that he should have come at her in a loving way. In a loving way? When you acted like this?
If you kill that, I'm gonna become pretty freaking violent.
Oh, it's not.
Hey, I'm far beyond your little beliefs. You act like you have a whole wardrobe. You got like three pairs of panties, 2 pairs of socks, and a couple t-shirts. Like, what do you want? I see you're sucking your sister's tits. No. You're never gonna let go. I don't ever feel like I overreact.
Okay, girl. Whatever it takes to finally get you out of here. Rayne says she feels misled and angry. She's flying out that night and for whatever reason told Chidi, and now he's coming to the hotel to say goodbye to her. I wish he wasn't. Victoria is accompanying him so he doesn't have to go alone. Chidi says he couldn't express his thoughts and feelings to Rayne at the beach, and that's a perfect example of how their relationship has been for the past 5 years. Let me tell you something. Absolutely the fuck not. 5 years of that, baby, absolutely not. Not a year, not a month, not a week, not 24 full hours. Chidi is hoping that during this final goodbye, he'll be able to express his feelings because he feels like that would help them both to heal and move on from the relationship. I think Chidi is a kind person who didn't want to leave Rayne due to 1, trauma bonding, and 2, him not wanting to leave her out there in the world basically on her own. But that can't be his concern anymore.
For the both of you is good. Especially you.
Victoria is waiting for Chidi outside, and she is rightfully happy as hell that this relationship is finally over.
I am so relieved that this chapter is over for Chidi, honestly.
Victoria says she came along because Rayne is an aggressive person, and if Rayne starts her yelling and shouting, she's going to have to step in. Chidi is really nervous to see Rayne. He wants to show Rayne that there's no beef, they just aren't together anymore. But we all know Rayne.
So?
Now you show up.
Rayne starts a conversation with an attitude. Raise your hand if you're surprised.
What you came to say now?
For their conversation, Chidi presents Rayne with gifts. I think it was a dress and some necklaces. I have no idea why. I too would think it was odd that you're giving me gifts during a breakup, but whatever. Rayne says that Chidi was giving her the gifts so he doesn't look like the bad guy. And I want to know on what planet she thinks that we think Chidi is the bad guy in this situation at all. Girl, do you know we can see you?
You know that I can see you?
She must be talking about the other people in the little dimension that she resides in, because she can't be thinking it's us. Chidi is trying to part ways on a good note and says he'll miss Rayne. And baby, I'm wondering why in the world he would set up this meeting and say anything nice to her at all, knowing that she's gonna go off immediately. Wow, 5.5 years. I fly all the way over here. I fly all the way overseas and you don't want to spend any quality time with me.
Go a long way and sacrifice a whole lot more than you'd ever imagine to be with you, right?
Okay, bitch, fly your ass back to America. Now.
At the door, you got to go, bitch. Bye-bye.
Chidi finally tries to say his piece so he can get whatever closure he thinks he's going to get from this conversation. I have said this once and I will say it a million more times if that's how many times it takes for people to get it. There's no conversation that you're going to have with that person that hurt you 99.999% of the time that's actually going to give you closure. Seek closure in therapy. Do not seek it from a person who continuously hurt you and knew that they were continuously hurting you and continue to do so anyway. I mean that with love. I might have said it kind of rough, but Chidi says the relationship hasn't been all good and things have gotten so bad and messy. Rayne says, why did you make it that way? mamas, and immediately starts talking over him. Well, why did you make it so messy? I haven't done anything but reach for you.
I've never done anything to you but reach for you, love you, try to... Wait, let me finish.
Let you finish what? He was the one speaking. Are you insane? Yes. Girl, somebody needs to put a muzzle on her along with that strappy white jacket. And I'm so serious. As soon as she lands back in, where is she from? New Mexico. As soon as she lands, baby, they need to have the people right there meeting her at the door of the plane. Wheel her right on off of there, strap her right on up, put that muzzle on her, not the one like Hannibal Lecter, something that's going to actually keep her trap closed. And let her have a good 72 hours to herself, because that lady ain't right. I'm sorry. She... Oh, God. Renee asks, what's so bad about me that you have to make excuses for spending time with me? I personally can name several things. Your terrible attitude, the way you belittle him and his beliefs, though you said you share those same beliefs, your utter disrespect for not only him, but the woman that cares for him on a daily basis, also is his sister and family, along with your very thinly veiled racism. And I'm sure I could go on.
You're an evil person.
Says the literal demon babes. Like, please be serious. Chidi finally seems to realize that Renee is a crazy, messy bitch that seems to live only for drama and discord, and has since the inception of their relationship. Finally.
It's quite unfortunate that all these are coming out from your mouth, but...
Yeah, it is. Unfortunate for you.
Chidi is clearly at his wit's end.
Can you hear me now?
He tells Renee that he has not enjoyed the relationship since the very beginning of their relationship. Renee says that Chidi is the biggest scammer she's ever met and one of the worst. She says that he's trying to play her like a fool, and he invited her all the way to Nigeria, and he told her that he wanted to marry her.
You're gonna be nothing now but a bitch to me. Do you understand that?
So nasty and so rude.
Chidi says, this is the reason I can't do this anymore. It's over. Renee says, you can say whatever you want to make your little ass feel better. Go home. Your babysitter's right there. Victoria catching a stray, it's just standing in the back, minding her own business and looking out for her brother. But you know, that's public enemy number one when it comes to Renee. That man's sister. That girl is...
Have a good time.
Yeah.
I love you. Bye.
I love you too.
Yeah.
See, that. Keep your hands to yourself. That is exactly why I believe that Reddit rumor that she put her hands on Victoria. Because she is so quick to put her hands in people's faces and on people any other time. I don't have the clip of Jada Hope saying sometimes violence is the answer, but if I did, I would insert it here. Okay, just know. Some people only learn from certain things, and we all have lessons to learn, and I feel like Renee is at an age where she needs to finally learn hers. We'll leave it there. Renee leaves and goes back upstairs, and Chidi is frustrated. Victoria comes over and says, I saw Renee storm off. What happened? And it seems like Chidi finally gets it, because he says Renee is always going to be Renee.
Renee will always be Renee.
Chidi says he didn't want things to end with Renee this way, obviously. And then they cut to Renee crying and saying that he should have never led her on and told her that he loved her.
I deserve so much more.
Girl, you deserve hell and jail. I do not care about these tears in the least bit. And I wish y'all would stop showing her crying, because nobody cares. We have no sympathy for that. Anyway, Chidi says that one day he knows he will find a woman that loves and cherishes him, who will hear him out and will understand him and accept him for the way that he is. And I absolutely believe that. I do. I hope he's found her already, actually. I know Renee isn't supposed to be at the tell-all, which she shouldn't be, but I really do wish Victoria and Chidi would be there so they could tell their side. But it's not like Sean would ask them the right questions anyway, so. Guess what? Niles made me mad again. Remember how Niles was my favorite? It's Matilda now. in the relationship. Like, I'm on her side. Matilda asks Niles if he's happy that her family has accepted him, and he says he is very happy. Matilda says her mom was worried and was asking if Niles was for sure going to come back for the wedding because they expected the wedding to happen on this trip.
I'm sure that my babe would definitely come back for me.
He better, or we will ride at dawn. Niles, don't play with my girl. Niles says he's going to come back as soon as possible, and Matilda says don't take too long. She doesn't want her family to think that she was lying to them about the time frame of them getting married. Whew. Niles and Matilda go back to Matilda's house. The day before, they had the, discussions and everything outside, and Niles didn't get a chance to go inside. So now Matilda's going to show him the inside of her home. The state of her okay. The state of her house had me in tears. Niles said he had seen a little bit of the home on video chat previously, but it's nothing like witnessing it in real life. Shows him the room for her mom's storage where she leaves her plantain and everything that she's going to sell at the market. And there's a tire up instead of a door, and Niles is like, well, what's the tire for? And she tells him, we have goats and things here in the tires so that they don't come in and eat the plantain. They don't have running water. They have to shower with a bucket.
We will pick our baskets and go fetch some water to come in and take our shower.
Then Matilda shows Niles to her room, and I thought it was just her room. No, her eldest sister sleeps on a mattress, while she, Hayford, and their other sister sleep on the floor. Niles says this is not how human beings are supposed to live. Why would you say that?
This is not how human beings are supposed to live.
Why would you verbalize that to her? You can think whatever you want to think up here, but you can close this. As a fellow autistic person, you don't have to say it. You can think it all you want to. Nobody can see your thoughts. Nobody can hear your thoughts. Don't open your mouth, though, until you consider and process. He even goes on to tell Matilda that if the walls were gray, her room would be indistinguishable from a prison cell. Stop talking.
And then
You'll thank me later. Matilda is being gracious and tells Niles that, this is normal for them and this is all they can afford for right now. Meanwhile, in her talking head, she says Niles is being insulting because he is, and that sometimes Niles is too blunt. Because why the fuck?
Now is too blind.
Why would he say that out loud? Niles, come on. This has been her home since she's been a child, and she rightfully feels away.
I think that's part of it, autism, but I don't like it.
Real, because again, I think through what I'm going to verbalize before I let it come out of my mouth, because I know for other people that shit might be too blunt. It might come across as mean and it might hurt someone's feelings. So let me filter it a little bit and make it more digestible, but still tell the truth, or say nothing, because in this situation, you didn't have to say anything. You can be like, wow, that's enough. Niles goes with Hayford to get some Wi-Fi. The producers basically told him to go away so that Matilda could have time to speak with her sisters without him being around. Her sister says, so tell me again why the wedding isn't happening yet. And Matilda explains that Niles said he could marry her on this trip because he hadn't met her before. Reasonable. Would have been 1000% better if he had set proper expectations, but we're not going to keep harping on it. I am, but I'm going to lie and say I'm not. See, this isn't me masking. This is just me lying. Her sister says that she thinks she should have forced Niles to marry her, and Matilda's like, how was I gonna do that, girl? Matilda asks her sister if she'll do the cooking for the knocking, and she agrees. She tells her that the last knocking she did was about $300 basically total. And Matilda says that Niles doesn't know it yet, but they actually need money from him in order to purchase the food and stuff for the knocking ceremony. She's hopeful that Niles will pay the cost of the knocking because these traditions are important to her culture, and they're already not having the wedding as expected. So
I cannot be disgraced in front of my family again.
The next day, Niles and Matilda go to the market to sell plantain because she wants Niles to see how she works every day. Matilda says she understands that it's much easier to make money in the US than it is in Ghana because as she understands it, you just go sit in an office. And when she put it that way, and I thought about like the jobs available here versus the jobs available there, as we can see, yeah, a point was made, correct? Matilda has Niles yelling to try to draw customer attention.
Shouts!
Matilda says she's still upset about how Niles spoke about her home, and so she brings it up to him. She tells Niles that his statements hurt her and says, like, what if my mom would have walked by and would have heard these things? Like, you could have hurt her.
It's because of autism, right?
My question was, how could you be so brutally honest, but at the same time, when it came to this wedding? All right.
I don't want you to get disgrace anymore, please.
Niles says this is why he masks so much. Whenever he tells people the truth, they're offended, and whenever he masks or lies, people get hurt. So when does he tell the truth and when does he mask? Masking doesn't have to be lying, though. Masking doesn't just have to be you telling someone what they want to hear. Your masking can be you still telling your full truth, but delivered in such a way that it would be more digestible for the person receiving it. Just a thought. Matilda says when Niles is with her, he can speak freely, but whenever it comes to being in public around family and friends, then he can mask. Not lie, but he can mask. Then she says something that really tugged at my heartstrings.
I don't want you to leave me because I'm saying this.
Niles says he's not going to leave her, and he's glad that she's being very direct with him and letting him know what she expects out of their relationship. He says in the past that people have just expected him to improve on his own rather than telling them what they needed. And so he's ecstatic that Matilda would be so patient as to teach him basically how to love her. Let me tell y'all something. There's nothing like a partner who genuinely tries to understand your autism and your specific triggers and needs. I cannot commend my partner enough for knowing my triggers, for understanding whenever I'm overstimulated and what makes me overstimulated, understanding my stimming, going so far as to 3D print me fidget toys. Oh, my fidget snake that he 3D printed for me. It feels so nice. I love it so much. And it's so pretty. Look at the colors. I love it. He also made me a purse that zips to open and you zip it back closed. Tell me that's not the cutest fucking thing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, partner who does all that, reads articles, watches TikToks, YouTube videos, you fucking name it, just to understand you. Irreplaceable. Those are the same type of qualities that I see in Niles and Matilda's relationship, and that's why I root for them so hard. They make a good balance. Niles isn't good in social situations, and Matilda doesn't mind stepping in and basically leading. Niles isn't the best with communicating. Matilda doesn't mind stepping in to help him find his words. She genuinely cares for that man, and he better do right by her. Matilda says the traditional knocking is like 20 to 30 people, but since they're not having the wedding, she wants to have a really big knocking ceremony. And I can't knock that. Please don't leave. I'm sorry, I had to. Matilda tells Niles it'll be about 90 people and it will cost about $300 for the food.
Like 90 people, 90.
Niles says he'll see what he can manage by Saturday. And Matilda's like, no, I need it so she can go and pay for everything. The knocking is on Saturday. Like, she needs to get this now. Niles was hoping that by postponing the marriage, he would have had more time to get his funds together. But
I was hoping that postponing would give me a little bit more time to get some funds together, but
Joke's on you.
Niles says his financial situation isn't the best right now, but he doesn't want to disappoint Matilda and her family again. Niles saying weddings to y'all are big deals. Sir, have you never seen an African wedding?
when you guys say that these weddings are big deals, you're not kidding, are you?
You're in for. Do a little research. You're autistic. I expect you to look this stuff up. Later on, Niles and Matilda meet up with Hayford and Enoch, Matilda's friend. Hayford asks about their plans for the knocking on Saturday. Matilda tells him it's going to be about 90 people. Oh, and you'll want your friends to come too, Hayford, huh? Right? And oh, Enoch, you'll want to invite your friends too, right? Niles tells Enoch he's already trying to whittle the list down as it is. And Matilda says, nuh-uh.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do anything.
Matilda wants a larger knocking day because she's not getting her wedding Simple. Niles says he didn't plan for that many people. In fact, with his family not coming, he thought that would be 15 less people that he had to worry about. And Enoch finally brings up a point that I've been wondering about since she explained what a knocking ceremony was.
They have to witness the knocking day. So maybe we can call them on WhatsApp or Zoom.
I knew Matilda said he had to come with his family to ask permission of her family for them to get married. I knew I didn't make that up. Hafer tells Niles, well, we got to meet your family so you can get on WhatsApp, you can get on Zoom. We got technology. What you want to do? Basically, if Niles doesn't have somebody to represent or stand in as his father figure, ain't no knocking. Niles' parents doesn't support their relationship, as we already know, and he's confident they're not going to participate in the knocking. There is another option. There's an elder named Mr. Ark that Matilda introduced Niles to before because they're in the same line of work, and they wonder if maybe he'll be willing to step in and act as Niles' father figure. Matilda says she's nervous because Mr. Ark is a bit of a strange man, and I'm not sure what that means yet, but I'm excited to find out.
If he doesn't agree to represent as Niles' father, I don't know what we're going to do.
Before we even got into his backstory, I wanted to call him Hoey. I'm never wrong about people.
Handsome Joe, aka Stud Muffin Joe, aka Playboy Joe.
Also, tell me this intro does not give bada motherfucking bing. Like, Joey is from Jersey, but he lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. Joey's dad tells us that he's had lots of girlfriends, and that's all that he really tells us about his son. 5 months ago, Joey was FaceTiming with a mutual friend and saw a girl in the background and said, ooh, who was that? He said he and Magda had a brief interaction on the phone and they couldn't meet because she was going back to Poland. He didn't think it would go anywhere, but he kept thinking about her, so he reached out to her. As soon as I saw Magda on my screen, my first question is, how old is she? Because she immediately looked too young for him, and she is. Crazy how that is, right?
How old is this girl?
Yeah. 24. Oh, she's 23. I'm sorry.
A family member makes a joke calling him Leonardo DiCaprio. They laugh. I don't find it funny.
And I'm 34.
You're like
is that
Leonardo
bad?
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You look skeezy and slimy. And like that solidified it for me. But there's even more slimy stuff. So Joey's family is asking about Magda, what she does, blah, blah, blah. And he tells them that she's a corrections officer. Or she was until she quit her job.
What was the reason for quitting her job?
She wants to come here.
Usually I would say it's wrong to use people. You should never do that. Unless you are in your early 20s and it is a scumbag man who is much too old for you, but much too immature for the women born in his same decade to take seriously, and wants to use your young hotness to stroke his ego. Have fun, darling. Have a great time.
Did you also ask her what she wants to do in the United States?
She wants to be mother.
When they asked him what she wants to do in America, I literally said, be a mother right before him. I know the game, baby. I'm well aware. She's not stupid. She's not. Joey says Magda has been very direct in her intentions to come to America, get married, and become a mother. In that order, and very quickly. In order for things to meet her timeline, that means he would have to propose on this trip. That is preposterous. You are 34 years old. You've never met this woman in real life. You've been chatting, because let's call it what it is. You've been texting buddies for the past 5 months with a 23-year-old, and you've still been fucking on other people in the meantime. Proposal? Like, don't be ridiculous. The family, of course, is wondering if she wants to move to America for Joey or if she wants to move to America for America.
Question is, does she want to move here just to move here, or does she want to move here for you?
Also wondering if she wants to have kids so quickly so she can solidify her status as an American citizen.
A lot of red flags.
We go to Joe's job with him. He's a realtor, and he pissed me off so bad with how he put those cookies in that dish. Oh my gosh. Magda calls Joe after he brutalizes those poor cookies and says she's stressed.
A lot of things to talk about.
Joe says that's his least favorite conversation ever. Joey says things between him and Magda are really tense, and she's not very happy with him right now. I wonder why. Later that day, Joey's at the pool with his friends. They're all from New Jersey.
Are you in love?
Ooh, maybe. It's hard to tell and you never met.
It's a very direct question, Jill. Joey says things are tense because Magda is upset with him right now. They got into a huge fight because he had sex with someone 2.5 months ago. Magda had cut everyone else off and he hadn't. His friends ask with whom and he says it doesn't matter.
With whom?
It doesn't matter with whom.
Remember this, because I have thoughts. We'll get there shortly. A few days ago, Magda randomly asked Joe when the last time he had sex was, and he was completely honest with her. Joe's friend comes on his talking head and he's like, yeah, Joey's actually a slut. I'm surprised he's committing to anyone, especially without having had sex with them first.
Joe is a sexual person. He gets his.
So now, because Joey had sex with somebody 2.5 months ago, he has to share his location with Magda all the time. What the fuck sense does that make, girl? Please tell me what the fuck you're gonna do in Poland while he's in West Palm Beach, Florida, while you're just looking at his location. Be mad the whole time that you see that he's with other bitches? Like, let's put our thinking caps on. You don't know. The friends then ask if Magda knows that Joey used to date Jill, and he's like, absolutely not. That was almost 7 years ago, and they dated for less than a year. So he doesn't think that he needs to tell Magda. But since Magda reacted so strongly to him having sex with another girl during their relationship, he doesn't think that Magda would react well to knowing that Joey is friends with one of his exes. You want to know who I think Joey had sex with last? Jill. Absolutely.
With whom?
It doesn't matter with whom.
Look at this stupid smirk and look away. Exactly. I am absolutely speculating. But the vibes were off and it was giving, we still fucking. Tell me it wasn't. Later on, Joey and Magda go to the store, Gino and Jasmine style.
You see me?
She doesn't trust him, so she's constantly on the phone with him. This seems like it would be awful. Joey is shopping for items and running up screen time. We don't care about any of this. And then he asks Magda, well, do I need to get some condoms? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, you got plenty then. And she tells him, I'm sorry, but I don't want to have sex.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to have sex, Joe.
You could hear Joey skidding to a halt on this whole thing. Magda says she wants to wait a few more months, maybe even more, before they do that. In fact, she doesn't even want to have sex with him until she gets to America so she can be sure that she trusts him.
I want to wait until I will come to USA.
I need to feel I trust you.
This is a man who another man just called very sexual. He is not going for that. That man is trying to get his thing wet on night one like Brian does. Let's not. He's not trying to hear all that. Girl.
I get it. I'm sorry for even bringing it up. We won't worry about condoms.
Joey's like, well, I didn't expect that from her the day before I leave for the trip. And very fair. I too would be thrown off if like I'm about to see this person that I've been talking to for months and the day before they're like, you know you're not getting no dick, right? Or you know you're not getting no pussy, right? No. Why would I assume? Now, Joey says he sees the potential red flags. That it's very funny to me. No pussy.
Maybe there are some more red flags than I've been willing to see.
Next morning, it's 4 hours before Joe's flight. Production is knocking on his door for over an hour and he's not answering. They're calling his phone over and over again and he's not answering. We then get the blue screen text that lets you know some shit's going down. He isn't answering calls. He isn't answering texts. He isn't answering the door. And we get a cliffhanger wondering, oh, is Joey going to make it to his flight and actually go to Poland? Which is stupid because we've seen previews whenever he is in Poland talking to the girl. Whatever. I cannot wait to see what Joey and Magda have in store for us because it's going to be disastrous and it's going to be so much fun to watch. Why are Veah and Sunny together? Is it to piss me off personally? Because it's starting to feel that way. Let's speed run because I don't care. Veah goes to meet Sunny's friends and play cricket. Veah asks Sunny if she's good at playing cricket. He says, trust me, you're not. Sunny's close friend Ali says, it's cool that she's here and all, but yeah, you're going to have to convert to Muslimanity, my girl. I know it's not called that also. She's going to have to become a Muslim. It just... Ali does overstep and asks Veah if she's going to be wearing, you know, a different shirt. She had on a crop top, and he asked, like, are you going to be wearing a different shirt whenever you go to meet Sunny's father? And obviously,
if you're going to get married him, you have to change your religion to be a Muslim.
Then Ali's like, you got to convert. And Veah says, Sunny, you never said that. And Ali's like, why you ain't tell her? And Sunny's like, I'm focusing on us. What a smooth way to say you omitted information. Veah doesn't want to convert, and she doesn't like that Sunny didn't divulge that information. Fair. Sunny tells Ali that Veah brought Rory. Ali reacts accordingly.
You want to bring your ex? Why did you came to see Sunny?
Please, like, you already fight about your ex. Why would you bring him along on this trip? Later, Veah asks Sunny, are you expecting me to convert? And he's like, let's not worry about that right now.
When we know that we are very happy, then we can see where we can go from here.
Wrong answer, forehead.
They go swimming, they start touching, I stop watching.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the Sunny and Rory showdown, though, on the next episode.
You guys are the one with the problem, not me.
Sunny, in that preview, looks like a lion about to spring on his prey. Rory might want to chew. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much to Whatever Linda for shouting out my channel and getting me to over 500 subscribers when I had 200 something. I cannot express how much I appreciate it. Like, you helped me grow substantially by a simple shout out, and I have to figure out a way to repay you. To everyone new here, hi. Thank you for being here. To everyone who's been here, thank you for being here. To everyone to come, thanks for being here. I don't know what to say, so that's why I'm rambling. I'm about to script out episode 12 and try to hurry up and get that out for you, because my next 2 weeks are going to be a lot because I'm supposed to be moving. So this is going to be fun, but I got y'all.